right, so we've dealt with that. Now,
The
go
really
ahead.
common one, I think, is cornmeal.
In terms of bad solutions for ants,
Well, bad solutions, yeah, but
Yes.
a lot of people recommend cornmeal.
right?
And the idea here is that the ants eat the cornmeal. Cornmeal is very dry, but as it absorbs water, it expands. And so it blows up the ant in their stomach.
Right.
Okay. And I've had people use cornmeal for slugs for the same reason,
I've read that.
and a couple other different kinds of insects. And all of that is nonsense. There's no insect / animal that blows up when it eats something dry. Okay, it just doesn't happen.
Right.
In fact, ants don't even eat a lot of dry food. So they don't eat cornmeal. They'll take the cornmeal back to their nymphs and feed it to them. And the nymphs eat the cornmeal and then regurgitate it and feed the ants. But ants like eating more of a liquid meal,
Right. Like a nectar.
a nectar. Yeah.
Right.
So the cornmeal doesn't work at all.
It just feeds the nymphs, which you're just feeding the entire colony.
Well, you're feeding the nymphs maybe a little bit, but yeah, it's a food source for them.
Yeah.
There's no way that cornmeal will ever harm an ant.
Why do you suppose people are so? I've every time I do a video about slugs or ants, I get this cornmeal bit.
Yeah.
And why do you think it's so rampant that people believe this idea?
Well, I think there's sort of two reasons why people believe some of these myths that can't possibly be true. One is that a lot of people repeat what they've heard, right? So last week I was on Facebook and someone said cornmeal works, and I remembered that. So now I'm going to tell somebody else next week when they ask the question.
Yeah.
So a lot of those people that write into social media have never actually tried the product or the technique, but they read about it.
Mm-hmm.
And they believed it worked, so they pass it on as if it works.
Yes.
And I think a lot of that happens in social media. The second thing is that if you try a solution, most people want it to work.
Yes.
And they might put it on their sidewalk and they might see less ants tomorrow. It worked. Right?
Yes.
It doesn't mean the ants actually left. It just means that maybe you went out too early and it was too cool or too hot. If it gets too hot, ants stay underground. If it's too cool, they stay underground. You came out the wrong time of the day, you didn't see ants. Right?
But you saw what you expected to see, so then the type 1 error goes.
Yeah.
You just say, okay,
And then
I
you
guess
get on social media and say, hey, I tried it and it works. Even though scientifically we know it can't possibly work.
Right.
And if you get one person saying that, now you've got 20 other people who are going to tell other people, and it just snowballs.
Yes. Okay, so that's cornmeal. What else have you got for us?